Welcome to the Citizen channel. In this video we look at the story of Alex Belfield and how he drew us into his web of deception. Please like, share, comment and subscribe for more Citizen news. Alex Belfield, once a rising star of YouTube, has now been imprisoned on stalking charges. Here we look at how power and fame can be a curse as well as a blessing. In the realm of media, individuals often harness their positions to influence and guide public opinion. For some, this influence is wielded responsibly, promoting accurate information and open discourse. However, there are others who engage in a dangerous charade of deception, using their platforms to manipulate and trick their audience. Alex Belfield, a former radio presenter for BBC Radio Leeds, is a striking example of such manipulation. He utilized several tactics to deceive. Belfield's career traces back to the age of 14 when he ventured into the entertainment world. Over the years, his professional journey covered multiple forms of media, spanning television, radio, and print. However, this was just the beginning of a path marked by controversy. In the grand scheme of manipulation, Belfield's misconduct incident at BBC Radio Leeds stands out. In 2010, he made lewd and inappropriate comments regarding weather presenter Keely Donovan. This behavior understandably sparked outrage among listeners and complaints soon followed. For this unacceptable conduct, Belfield received a one-day suspension from the station and a stern reprimand from BBC bosses. The incident should have been a warning sign, a signal to change his ways, but it turned out to be just a precursor to his increasingly deceptive tactics. Belfield's descent into manipulation took a pronounced turn when he shifted his focus to digital platforms, particularly YouTube. Initially operating under the name Celebrity Radio, he rebranded his channel as The Voice of Reason. This rebranding was not merely cosmetic, it marked a strategic shift towards promoting right-wing content, embracing sensationalism and conspiracy theories. It was a calculated move to attract an audience eager for such narratives. One of the most glaring deceptions in Belfield's repertoire was his attempt to position himself as a victim while relentlessly targeting the BBC. Belfield, during his legal proceedings, portrayed himself as the ultimate underdog, a lone crusader against the BBC and the police. He characterized the charges against him as a BBC and police witch hunt, further feeding into conspiracy theories that resonate with a segment of his audience. By doing so, he cunningly turned the narrative away from his own actions and portrayed himself as a martyr for freedom of speech. Another facet of Belfield's deceptive strategy was his unapologetically offensive rhetoric, which he justified under the umbrella of free speech. He declared himself as the #1 anti-BBC journalist, unashamedly embracing this divisive label. He used his human right to freedom of speech as a shield for his offensive comments and behavior. This framing allowed him to bypass accountability and attract followers who perceived him as a staunch advocate for unrestricted expression. The pinnacle of this charade was his sentencing, during which he was allowed to deliver a pompous closing speech. In this theatrical performance, he not only derided the case against him but also defiantly described himself as an offensive speaker. He framed his words as though they were the embodiment of an unpopular truth, further solidifying his narrative of victimhood. On June 18, 2021, Belfield was summoned to appear at Nottingham Magistrates Court, where he was charged with 12 counts of stalking involving fear of violence or serious alarm or distress on July 1. On July 29, 2021, Belfield appeared at Nottingham Crown Court accused of stalking 8 people between November 2012 and March 2021, including BBC staff members Stephanie Hurst and Jeremy Vine. Belfield was convicted in September 2022 for 4 of 8 stalking charges at Nottingham Crown Court. He was sentenced to 5.5 years in prison. The judge overseeing Belfield's case astutely noted that, despite his acknowledgement of the distress he had caused his victims, he displayed a disturbing preoccupation with his own perceived unfair treatment and how the legal process affected him personally. This behavior revealed an alarming degree of self-centeredness and a lack of empathy for those who suffered as a result of his actions. Deception is a subtle and often insidious force. Belfield's journey is a stark reminder that even those in the public eye can harbor deeply troubling traits beneath the surface. His downfall was not simply a result of his position but a revelation of a darker side that had been tricking us all along. In the end, his attempt to deceive the court and avoid responsibility for his actions only sealed his fate. In conclusion, Alex Belfield's manipulation of the narrative was a crafty and calculated endeavor that allowed him to deceive his audience. He portrayed himself as a victim in a grand conspiracy, preyed on people's desire for conspiracies and sensationalism, and cloaked his offensive rhetoric in the guise of free speech. His manipulative tactics are a stark reminder that deception in the media can have far-reaching consequences. His fall from grace serves as a sobering lesson about the need for accountability and ethical behavior, even in an era where conspiracies and sensationalism hold a strong allure. Belfield's tactics may have temporarily swayed his audience, but in the end, the truth prevailed, and he now faces the consequences of his deception, serving a prison sentence that will forever mark him. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, comment and subscribe for more citizen news.